Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
Market rallying again here, Joel. You cannot stop the bull. I'm now 40 points into my bet with you. 1680. We had that on at 1640. I got 60 points to go. Are you getting nervous there, Joel?
I tried to negotiate some buyouts a few days ago, and you totally ignored me. I'll let you out for McDonald's hamburger and French fries right
Oh,
now.
so you want to be paid for it? Hell no.
No, I'll.
Oh,
I
you're
said
going to
I'll.
give me a McDonald's. What was the original bet? I can't even remember what we bet.
I think it was a six pack.
That was a six pack. I thought it was a fancy Ruth Chris steak dinner.
It was.
It
It
was.
was. Well,
So,
that's what happens. You take out resistance, Dennis. We took out Friday's high pretty easily yesterday, and just we looked at this 1682 level. That was your high on August 15th. We're almost there. So when you have these big red bars and you get back into that area, it goes right to that 1682. So we hit 81 and a quarter in the pre-market. That's a number I'm keeping an eye on in today's trading.
not everything rallying here, though. We have crude trading down significantly and gold trading down significantly. Bring up the crude, obviously. Maybe concerns that there isn't going to be a war here in Syria is knocking down the price of crude this morning, and it's down almost $2, trading at 107.59.
Right. Well, the ball started out rolling yesterday. I couldn't hold that psychological 110 level. Started to tank near the end of the day. Easily took out Monday's low at 107, 108.76. Took out Friday's low at 108.12 here. So the next support point I see is the low that you had from last Thursday at 107.13, and we're only 40 cents away from there. Already had a pretty big range, but I'll be looking at the 107.13, and then you have, it's just war on, war off, and there's no war. So crude and gold are tanking.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing in gold here, down this morning as well. Gold trading down, the GLD is down over $2, and we've got obviously the contract itself. Gold futures down $20 here at 1366. So, and you've got all your miners trading weaker here too. So, first talk about the gold futures though.
Right, I got another psychological level. I mean, we talk about the 110. Well, 1400 was the bogey in gold. It traded above there a couple times, made a couple closes above it, but hit 1400 on Thursday. Stopped shy of that on Friday and Monday, and you took out 81.90, 64.20 low, trading just off that. You have to go back until August 22nd to see that low at 1354.50.
Bring up some of these individual minor charts like Barrick Gold, and what do you see there? Because if you look at the daily on it, I see a distinct pattern there. Zoom in a little bit so we can look a little bit closer. But that looks to me like a little bit of a head and shoulders. Not that we're pattern traders here, but looking at that left shoulder as it was just trying to break out through 20. We eventually did get the breakout through 20, probably caught a few people long as we ticked up to 21.20, and then we formed the right shoulder and just could not get back over $20, and obviously starting to break down today with the significant sell-off in gold itself.
Right, smashing. We talked about that 19 level for a while. You got 3-4 bounces off that. Not happening today. You've taken out the $19 level. You did have a low at 1837 on August 15th, so we'll take a look at that level. As far as the pre-market goes, we're just trading off the low of the pre-market at 1871. So next support level for Barrick is 1837.
Let's move on to Apple here. We got the iPhone event happening today. 508.55. The stock's up another $2. So we did get this run up. We're up about $10 just from a couple days ago. What do you think's going to happen here? Obviously, once they announce and they show the iPhone, what do you think's going to be the response?
Well, they built up a pretty good rally going into it. I mean, you'd be looking for maybe a little volatility off that. I'm just looking at the support and resistance levels for it. One number we talked a little bit about yesterday was the high close of this entire move coming off that 388 low, and that was at 507.74. We're trading above that. First stopping point, if they like the new iPhone 5, is your 10 and 14 day highs at 510.20 and 510.57. Number above that, keep an eye on the high of the move so far, 513.74.
If they don't like it too, keep in mind the 500 magnet might still be a drag on this stock. We're now above the 500 level. Obviously, every time it pulled below 500, it got dragged up to it. And we'll see now that we're above 500 if the iPhone event is a huge success. Maybe we can finally break that magnet. If not, we'll get dragged right back down to it.
Is it a new phone, new colors, or variations?
Well, I don't know if
or
they've announced all, the specifics. That's the whole thing about the event. It's all the excitement of let's see what this new iPhone's all about. So I think they're pretty tight-lipped here, but we're going to find out today. So we'll be watching that iPhone event. Let's look here at Facebook. The assault on 45 tried again yesterday. Couldn't quite get there. We've been saying, you think it's marching there, but 44.79. It's pulled back here a bit now. 44.61 the day before. Are you starting to get concerned that we might not see 45?
I'm not concerned about it at
I'm
all,
not
Dennis.
concerned
This
about
thing, because I don't own it. I talked about owning it from 32 to 17, but never did. 44.50 we've hit here in the pre-market, and that was also a level that we bumped up against a few times yesterday on the intraday chart. So looking at that is minor resistance. Only got to 44.79. Excuse me, yeah, 44.79 yesterday. So look for that up to the 45 number. But minor resistance 44.50, major resistance 44.79. And being up 32 cents, you should have good support at the close, 44.04.
Let's move to some of your market movers here. 5 below blew away the numbers. Well, not even blow them away, but they're blowing away the stock. It's just flying high here this morning. They're blowing up the stock, I should say. It's up $5.72 on their earnings report. They reported 11 cents versus 9 cents. Revenue's 117 million versus 112.7 million. They raised full year 13 guidance, so they're saying pretty much everything right here, and the stock is up 14% in response to that.
Hit 47.20. Since then, just kind of been hanging out here just below 46 to 47 range. This is a relatively new issue, so you're blowing away the all-time high here by 4 points. So not much to say about this. Keep an eye on that 47.20 level, which was the pre-market high.
If you're looking at just different levels too, then you think about if we can continue the rally, that $50 level. You start saying when levels have never been touched before, I always look at the whole numbers, obviously, because those are institutional spots, and there are also spots if options. I'm not sure if there's options on this or not. I would assume there is, though. So those key strike prices can sometimes be magnet levels as well. Let's look here. McDonald's same store sales reported this morning on them. Up 1.9% overall on strength in Europe, and McDonald's actually getting a pretty good lift here this morning, trading up at 97.49 right now.
Right, pre-market high 97.75, peeled back 20 cents from that. Had the resistance at the 97 level, and we easily taken that out in the pre-market. Going back, you had a high at 97.80, so that coincides real nicely with the pre-market high. That 97.80 high was on August 12th, and above that 98.40. But every time I think that about this stock and we talk about it and what the bull market has done, just over the last couple of years and stuff, and the stock has done nothing. It got over 100 in 2011, and here we are back, and 2 years later, and just still below that level.
Kind of hanging out. Yeah, like obviously a lot of the market's been on a bull run. McDonald's has just kind of been on a hanging out period just around this $100 level. So I guess you talk about magnets. It's been this 100 level has just been in play here for a long time for McDonald's. So
yeah, I guess you're taking in the dividends. You're still making some money on the issue.
3.19% is the yield on it right now, so you're making a little bit, but. Let's go on to Crocs. Crocs is halted right now. Going to come out of the halt here actually in about 40 seconds, so we probably can cover the breaking of the halt live. They halted it, and it's going to resume at 8:30 Eastern. Q3 15 cents to 18 cents versus estimates at 23 cents, so that's lower than expected. And also see sales lower than expected, 285 million to 295 million versus 305 million. I see an offer down at 11.50. I'm not sure if it's going to open that
Oh,
low.
you
Let's see
no
if we got
way.
10 seconds here. I don't think it's going to open that low. That would be an absolute massacre, but I think it could lose a good dollar here. 5 seconds away. Let's see where this cracks when it reopens here. We should
Wow.
have did a
I
bet on
don't.
that.
I'll take the
1270.
over.
1270.
Oh man, I wanted to see if I could go a double or
I
nothing on
wasn't
that
betting
bet here.
1150. I was just showing you where they were showing an offer, but somebody got excited. 1272 just reopened. 1275.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So you had support in this thing, going back, minor support at the $13 level, kind of been hanging in there, but now with this news, obviously we've taken that out. Had a low at 12.96 back on August 8th, not too long ago. So stays under $13. Had to go south, but if you get back above 13, try and work your way into yesterday's range, 13.58,
Quickly
13.52
just
with a
show
low.
the pre-market chart there too, Joel, just so they can see what you're talking about here. Because yeah, you can see where it just reopened now. Just ticked up 1280. 1251 is where it ticked down to on the low there, but it is trying to find a few buyers here, down 6% right now. Urban Outfitters (URBN) also reported same-store sales there. Well, in their release, their same-store sales were in the mid-single-digit range, and URBN really got rocked on that, down $3 right now in the pre-market, down 7%.
Coming into a nice level here. 39.65 was your low on August 16th. You've taken that out in the pre-market, traded as low as 39.15, but pretty big drop here just on same-store sales. So I'll be keeping an eye on that 39.15 low that it made and see if it can hold there. Got a ways to go to get into yesterday's range, but these retailers, it seems like it's either really good or really bad.
We were talking just before the show started about all these secondaries that came out after the bell. I think there was 10 or 12 of them actually. Smaller companies that we don't really follow, but it was interesting that so many companies last night decided to do a secondary offering, and it's usually saying, well, we'd like to raise some cash. So sometimes it can be, obviously to expand the business. Other times they just want to have more cash. So I don't know if it's concerning for the market or not, but you get stocks like KW that did a secondary last night. They're trading down 60 cents on that. You also had a stock like TRS, I believe, did a secondary, hasn't traded this morning. UMBF, I believe, was another one. It hasn't traded this morning either. These are small little companies, but secondaries usually do knock the stock down a little bit. And interesting that there was so many there last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's either, they want to get more money and ramp up, production and, put it back into their business, or that they just think their stock price is too high and they want to stick it to people and get out when they can. So wanted to show those two things. The second thing's not so moral, but it's just interesting that all of them come on the same day and do something like that.
Yeah, usually you see a few a week, but you rarely see 10 or 12 after a close like that. So it was interesting. I guess everybody just chose that day to do their secondary. So, I mean, if the stock's doing well and you think, you can raise a little bit more cash to expand your business, I guess it's a good thing. Usually another reason that the stock drops, though, is because the secondary is usually priced below where the current price
Hello,
is.
right?
So obviously that level, if you can buy it all of a sudden cheaper, then you get those people coming in that can sell the stock for, if they get the secondary, if they do actually subscribe to it, can actually sell the stock for profit there. So they're going to buy, and the selling pressure would knock the stock down too. But usually just the fact that you can buy the stock cheaper will knock the stock down.
I guess another way to play this too, as I look at Goldman Sachs up 361 here, I'm not sure what brokerage firms are handling these secondaries, but that could be a little bit of
There's got to be
little
some
bit
news
of
on that
yeah,
Goldman. I
yep,
looked at it
yep.
just a few minutes ago, and it wasn't up nearly as much. So I'm not sure what just happened in Goldman. But obviously Goldman popping up here. Let's just talk about that for a second because it's a good pop up here in Goldman Sachs. It's kind of been on the comeback trail for the last 7 or 8 days. It's been marching ever since it made that low back on August 30th at 151.33. We're up a sharp $11 from that. So quietly here, Goldman Sachs is back.
Yep, I didn't see any news running across the tape on that as well. You do have major resistance here coming up at 164. Jeb says Goldman Sachs is joining the Dow.
Oh, is that what just broke here? Just while we were on the show. It's always hard to look up news as you're doing the show, but wow, is that's for real? Wow, that's for real.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I'm
huge.
surprised that Brent wasn't spinning around in his chair and putting that on the squawk. I'm gonna have to get the ruler out on him.
Wow,
Can't
that's
believe
huge for
that.
Goldman, though. I mean, obviously, getting to the Dow, if that is true, wow, that's just a huge announcement for Goldman Sachs, and not surprising that it is getting a good
And
lift.
Jeb is breaking news here on Nike.
What's the Nike news? Let's keep going on this.
He says Nike too is joining the
What's going
Dow
out?
here.
What's going out? Ask him what's going out there, and
Yeah. Hey Jeb, in the Thinkorswim, what are they taking out? Alcoa. I bet it's Alcoa. Alcoa's out. Goldman Sachs, Nike, and Visa, and Hewlett Packard, Bank America, and Alcoa out of the Dow.
wow. Bank America out? They knocked Bank America out? That's, and Bank America actually, let's go cover these stocks right now. So that's huge news, man, because the Dow doesn't usually do very many adjustments here. Obviously, only 30 companies in there. So not dumping three out and putting three in. Obviously, I guess they like Goldman better than Bank America, so we can cover that first. Bank America, you can see the little bit of sell-off here just on this breaking news. Was trading up in the pre-markets, trading back down here. Actually, only up 3 cents now, 14.51.
I was noticing this thing, on the rally over the last couple days, and it was just had real tight ranges, and it was a real tepid rally. So, perhaps some people got an inkling into what was going on here. But Bank of America and Hewlett Packard haven't been in there that long, have they?
I feel like Hewlett's been in there for quite a while. I can't remember actually, but let's talk about Hewlett quickly here. You want to talk about a level of support? It's there right now as we're talking. A little bit scary to buy a company as it's coming out of the Dow, but that $22 level has been absolutely enormous on Hewlett Packard. 2181 was the low on the 22nd. It could test that today. If it takes that out, there's a lot of air below, but it's bounced off this 22 level quite a few times.
Yeah, we did just get a little spike down there to 21.75,
Yeah.
and now we're quickly back above the $22 level. That was almost a 75-cent dip in Hewlett Packard. So, we'll keep an eye. Sometimes those pre-market lows are, an overreaction. It doesn't necessarily affect the fundamentals of the company, but it just does as far as rebalancing goes, as far as the indexes, and that's why we're true and blue to the S&P 500. It's 500 stocks, and they do change things periodically, but when you only have 30 stocks and you make these kind of moves, it has significant effects on the issues.
Alcoa here trading down as well. Just bring up that chart. We're looking at it was actually kind of breaking out. Had 3 days in a row. Had a pretty good day yesterday. Obviously giving back a lot of those gains today on this news that is getting taken out of the Dow. Trading at $7.96 right now, so it's back down below that $8 level.
Um, $8, the spike in the pre-market here. Where did that take us down to? That took us down to 793. It got a little bit of a bounce. Taking a look at the dailies on this thing, did have a nice march up. We do have a 794 low. In fact,
Right there,
we
right
hit
now.
that yesterday. So Alcoa is not taking it on the chin as much. But who's been calling for the Alcoa to come out of the Dow?
Give you props, Joel. Joel's had the hate on for Alcoa
I've been
forever. Forever. I still have a little bit of Alcoa in my investment portfolio. I think it's one of my worst investments there. I think I was in at like $21 or something. That's one of those investments that you're like, should have taken the losses here. And I probably still should take the losses, but I'm still sitting back on a little bit of Alcoa, but not very bullish the stock. Talk about Visa too here. This big move in to get in the Dow for Visa. It's up $4, 182.08 right now. Actually, 182.50. So it's up $4 here on this news.
183.43 is where the initial spike went to in Alcoa, or excuse me, in Visa. Alcoa will never trade up there again. uh, Looking at the daily chart, we did have an old double top at the 181.50 level. We've had taken that out, so if it goes in reverse mode, you could find some minor support there. 182.56 was a high on August 8th, and that's where we're trading.
And if it really went into rally mode, that 185 level sticks out like a sore thumb. It's a ways from there. Looking 184.90 on May 20th, it topped out multiple times in June, just above 185. And then when it tried to spike back up after they had that bad news there, looking at the end of July, got up to 185.14 on August the 5th and failed there as well. Now we are $2.50 away from there, but it's a $180 stock, so it's back up to that 185. I might try to take a shot on the short side and see, but I wouldn't let it get up to like 186 or something. You definitely need tight stops, especially when stocks are going in the Dow. Joel, let's just quickly look at a couple other ones. We're running out of time, but AT&T has had some crazy support. You talked about it yesterday on the spike down off the bat. It got to 33 and a quarter and bounced right off of it. That's 4 or 5 days in a row that AT&T has bottomed in the exact same area. I don't know if it's going to see that today, but man, that is a hard bottom.
Right, and I'm not sure if there's like maybe an institutional order at 33.20 or something that your boys are leaning on, but come back up, closed up near the high of the day in AT&T. I mean, as much as it's found that support at 5 lows in a row, 33.21, 33.27. You really can't break above. You broke above 34 on one day, and that ended very badly, closed at 33.32. So spotty numbers up here, 33.92. We're only 17 cents away from that. That was the high on Thursday.
Market's still hanging out. We're up here at the 1680 level, trading right there right now. What's your story here? What do you think's going to happen here? Are we going to continue another run here today, or is like yesterday we going to have the gap and go? We're gapping here again today. Is that going to be the story? Gap and go again, or are we going to give some of this back?
Oh, I think that 81 and a quarter is pretty close to the August 15th high at 82. So unless we can get right through that 82 level right off the open, first 15 minutes, I think we might back and fill a little bit. 71.75 was Monday's high, long ways away from that. We've had about a 12-point range, so if we could get a 6-point pullback out to 1675 or so, I would call that your first support point on the day.
Well, that's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading day. Thanks, Jeb, for helping us out there, and we'll be back at you tomorrow.